his placement on the planning commission. I do believe he should fulfill his obligation since he was elected to the office.
Well, based on the conversations that we had last week, he wants to serve the township in this capacity as on the planning commission. So it seems to be something that he'd rather prefer to do over top of the audit board position.
I understand that. It's just, I don't believe, I will not accept his resignation for the audit position. He was elected to that prior to the planning commission, so I feel like he never should have been appointed to the planning commission, but in good faith, the township elected him. So for him to then say, I prefer this position, which is nominated by the board, you know, I'm appointed by the board of supervisors, I just don't feel that that's appropriate. I feel like he should fulfill his obligation as an elected official.
So if you want, what you could do is you could make a motion regarding David Hartline in that position as far as whether or not you want to put him in the planning commission position or not. And then if you vote not, then you have the open position to move on down your list. So that could be one approach that you could take.
Okay. I feel the same way Miss Lisa does as well. For the same reasons, I think if you're elected through your community for one specific item here on the election ballot, I believe you should fulfill that. But I would encourage Dave to come back and reapply for this in the future if another position opens up. I think that would be completely fair. He does bring experience to it, so I would value his opinion as I would anybody's.
He did also mention he's been attending classes, so I know he's sincere about the planning commission. So that experience and knowledge still can participate in the planning meetings. He's welcome to attend them, and we would welcome any, I'm assuming Rick Buckman, who's the chair, would welcome any input that he would provide as well as any new members of the board.
Do we want to open it up for public comment?
Sure. I'm welcome to do that.
Any public comment regarding this?
Yeah, any elected official can resign if they want to. I mean, that's Rick Buckman.
I can see you were there, you were
Okay.
selected.
Yeah, but any elected official can resign. I mean, it happens all the time.
Mhm.
Having said that, I know to the winners, you get the benefit of appointing who you want. I realize that. I've been in this game for like 45 years. So it's definitely not my choice, it's yours, and I understand that. I think he's a good guy on the planning commission.
Any other public comments? Okay, I make a motion to not accept David Hartline's resignation from the audit board.
Just let me jump in with a comment here, and I don't disagree with
No,
what's
sure,
been
go
said at all, but just, he intended to resign in the expectation he would stay on PC. You said he should fulfill his obligation, and I don't disagree with that, but I think he's still free to resign. He may decide he doesn't want to be auditor anymore. And so just by denying his resignation
I
doesn't
think
mean.
maybe
he has
it's
to
more that
stay.
you're denying his application for that position on the
Right.
planning commission.
Correct.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, it's actually his resignation's been tendered. The board has to act within 45 days. It becomes,
Right. But
If there's
the
no
agenda
action-
item at hand is planning commission. So they just need to come up with some decision whether or not they're going to accept him in that position. Because if not, they need to move down the list, is my opinion.
okay, understood, that they should act on his resignation within 45 days, which means it
Correct.
could be on January 10th of
Yes,
January.
that's the
Yes.
plan.
Yeah, so what you're saying is if he's not on the planning commission, then he still may
Withdraw.
choose to withdraw.
He could withdraw
Resign.
his
Yes.
resignation,
Yes.
or he may wish to no longer serve in that.
Right, it was my understanding he wanted to resign to go
Just
to,
to go.
right,
Right.
so that's
So
why
if
I
he's
was
not
saying.
there, he logically would stay on as alternate.
Right, okay, so in this case, I'm gonna make a motion to not accept his, application to stay on the planning commission. Do I have a second?
Is that proper terminology?
Is that $5,000? Considering it's my first
Then I
day,
second,
first
yeah.
time ever? Okay,
Then I second.
we second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sean, is that a no?
That's a no. All right, so we need to consider a motion to appoint someone to the vacant planning commission for the remainder of the four-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. We've had several applicants here. Has everybody had ample time to review them, to make a decision?
I am.
You have, what do you have to say, Ms. Lisa?
About the candidates, or the candidates that have applied, we have, I believe, 4 new candidates, right, that are throwing their hat in the ring. We've got, Buck Reed, Ed Myers, Bruce Fries, and Bob Marriott. And are these gentlemen here? I know I saw Bruce, Bob,
Let's see what.
Is Buck here?
I don't see him.
I don't see him.
and Ed's not here, right? Ed Myers.
I think Ed and his wife Susan, who's looking for a position on the Parks Board, I think they were both away this week.
Okay.
So
Yep.
they weren't able to make it.
That's fine.
Do they need to be here to be appointed?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. Just reviewing these, did you have anyone in mind there, Sean or Lisa?
Is this specifically for the Dave Hartline opening, or for?
Yes.
Is this how we do this?
This
Yeah,
is-
that was what Bill had suggested, was go ahead and go for somebody for that position
For that
first.
one there.
I think in light of, these are my comments, in light of the concerns that I know I heard when knocking on doors around the community, there were a lot of concerns about the planning commission, and I don't know if it's just lack of involvement from the community, lack of transparency, maybe, minutes not being posted timely. I don't know where the breakdown in communication is. It's also, I'm sure a lot of just township members don't get involved until something's in their backyard, and then it becomes a concern. So we have to find a way as a community with the planning commission to make sure that our community is more involved and upfront. If something is happening, it was a concern to me that the folks on Colonial Road didn't quite know how far along, I guess, things had come with Tim Hendricks on more recent, documents that he was throwing around there. I don't want to say he submitted, because I don't think they were technically submitted, right? So they were just concepts that he was presenting. It's important for me, I think, to have somebody from Colonial Road or any of the roads that are affected by the Tim Hendricks development, just because I feel like they'll provide a different perspective to the planning commission. So I would propose, based on the applicants, Bob Marriott.
For the 4-year term?
I like Ed Myers. He stepped up for a number of things in the past year, so that's my preference. But
I agree with Sean. I like Ed Myers in the 4-year position. To fill the remainder. He did step up for the Christmas tree lighting, was his big thing there, and I really appreciated that.
Can I ask how long is the term for the planning commission?
This one is a 4-year term, so it goes until December 31st, 2026.
And then
They're all 4-year terms.
that's what I was
The
wondering.
remainder of.
Well, the remainder, so this one that David Hartline was in, it's got, I guess,
2
3
years.
years, 2 years.
Oh,
I think
so
it's
that's, okay, so there's
Right. So I concur.
2 years remaining on it?
Yes. It is 2.
Well, technically it'd be 3 years, because it's
Till the
till
end.
December 31st of 2026.
Okay.
So that's essentially 3 years.
if you want to make a motion for
Are you okay with
Ed Myers?
You good with that? Okay. Yeah, I make a motion for, to appoint Ed Myers to the vacant planning commission, remainder of the 4-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, the next is a full term. I'd like to consider a motion to appoint a member to the planning commission for a 4-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. I'm going to echo your concerns, Ms. Lisa, about the concern with the development and the folks along Colonial Road expressing their how they were upset not being involved in the decision or even being brought to their attention. There is a gentleman who lives on Colonial Road as well, or lives on Colonial Road, who's been in our community for several generations. He's a farmer down there. This directly affects everything he does. And he brings a boatload of experience as far as conservation, codes. He knows some codes and some planning issues as well. So for this one here, I would recommend Bob Marriott for this position here.
I guess, so let me ask you all this. If we are making a new appointment there
Correct.
between Bill O'Donnell and Rob Keenan, who is not going to get reappointed?
I'm just going by what I have here and, the
So-
decision to,
Yeah, I guess the next position that is on the list in line is Bill O'Donnell's position.
okay, so this is Mr. O'Donnell's position here? Okay, I
Well, I
didn't
mean,
have that here.
You
Oh, I
can,
did have, I'm so sorry, I didn't see that down.
it's okay, I mean, it's whatever you guys decide, right? So
Right.
if you're considering whether or not to reappoint Bill O'Donnell, then you can just say that and then decide whether or not you're gonna reappoint him or you're gonna appoint somebody else in his
Okay,
place.
I got it.
And to Sean's point, there is the one other position, there's Rob Keenan's position also up for reappointment.
Okay. Consider a motion to, I guess, so I would still be appointing, an appointment here, not reappointing.
If that's the motion you're
Okay.
making.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a
Sure.
motion to appoint Mr. Marriott to the planning commission for a 4-year term, expiring December 31st, 2027. Do I have a second?
I second.
This is in place of Bill O'Donnell?
Yes, sir, William O'Donnell.
William O'Donnell is still recommended and willing to, encouraged to participate in the planning commission sessions and provide expertise and
My vote is no.
Okay, so then the Jared seat here, we don't even need to discuss, is that correct?
Correct.
How do we-
right. Yes, he goes away.
Okay, this is a replacement for Robert Keenan, or an appointment of Robert Keenan. He's been with our planning commission for several years. He's an active volunteer in our community. And again, if you're not chosen, I would still recommend you come to these meetings and participate. Everybody's input is valuable to the boards, I feel. So to this position, Sean, do you have anything you want to put forward here, Lisa?
I mean, we could appoint Bill O'Donnell to this spot then, right?
You could.
My opinion is for continuing to move forward with new members on the planning commission. So I would suggest either Buck Reed or Bruce Fry.
I think I mean, look, some of these folks have been in these seats for a while. I think they bring a lot of experience to the table. And that's why I would suggest to retain them.
And I can certainly appreciate longevity in the seats, but I also think at least I know for me, I'm trying to encourage more people in the township to get involved and to participate in these seats, and people that have been in them for any period of time and have served their community. I appreciate their service to our community, and their experience is welcome, but to get people more involved, I think it's encouraged to have new members on committees, and the planning commission is one that seems to, it took a lot of hits when I knocked on doors. So I don't have facts or data on why people feel the way they do. I'm just hearing from the community that elected me that I do feel like if we have, it's a 5-person board, we retain Jared and Rick Buckman on the board and have 3 new people appointed, and the original members are welcome to attend and provide all their expertise. I would also say any of the new members, though, are expected to go to classes and learn about whatever they need to know from the planning commission, just as I know I'm doing personally, going to PSAT's classes as well. It's important for our township to be involved, and we need to encourage that involvement, and by keeping the same people on the same boards for long periods of time discourages new members from participating.
Sometimes we get complacent.
Okay. Do you want to open it up for public comment?
Sure, is there any public comment?
I agree with what Ms. Lisa is saying. I'd like to see new blood coming on these boards. And the people that have been sitting there, if they want to help guide the community from sitting on the boards, sit out here and make your comments and give your input. But I agree with Lisa as far as getting more people involved and getting new blood on these boards. Because sometimes you sit on a board for years and years and years, and you become complacent. And how many people in here scream for term limits? Same thing. So I agree with you, Lisa.
I will tell you, I would be very disappointed if the people that aren't reappointed don't attend the meetings, though, because that would tell me that they were there for other purposes than the township, and that would concern me. That would be a different concern.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Mr. Keenan's been on this board, and he's an active volunteer for other things in this township. So if you don't consider him, that's going to be a great loss, especially to the Park and Rec Board, because I doubt he would continue to help in that position.
Why do you feel that way?
I know him pretty well. So like he's a really good person, and he's been, like I said, he's been doing it for a while. And if you choose not to appoint him, then Mr. Freeze would be the best for that. If you don't consider Mr. Keenan.
I mean, I'm Mr. Keenan's wife, and we'll be here tonight. And I mean, he is very concerned about development and, you know, making sure that it's controlled. I think that was in his letter. You know, he's not one to just, I don't know what the accusations were for the planning commission, but you know, he is just here to, you know, serve the community and make sure that developers are not coming in and doing whatever they want, as Mr. Buckman and the other members as well. But he has been very active in the park board as well, and he's not even a member. But I think if you think that people who, you know, want to serve and then they're not reappointed because of, you know, whatever is you think is going on, would want to come to the meetings then, because I mean they're kind of being rejected, you know, their service is being rejected, so why would they want to?
Same thing with Bill O'Donnell.
Yes.
He's been a volunteer in this community forever. All right, and I know you said the people that elected you. I guess you're talking about the 250 mail-in ballots that thought you were Democrat. So, you guys, you got your asses kicked at the polls.
I mean, I think you have two, you are appointing two new members, like, you want us to just upheaval
Sorry, I had to-
the entire board?
60%, it's not the entire board.
Enough of it.
Go ahead.
Well, again, to the victors go the spoils. It's your decision, and again, I accept that. I just take offense that when you knock on doors, how many people know what the planning commission actually does, what they have done? We have been proactive. When there's plans submitted, which, you know, Tim Hendricks all his stuff has not even been submitted yet. You know, unless you attend meetings or involved in the township, you're not gonna know about that. That's why people have to get involved. And I don't know how else you broadcast that other than attend meetings.
Well, I totally agree with you, and I think that's, you know, that's my opinion of why we're trying to appoint some new blood, is to get people more involved and to let them know that we do accept new members into our boards. It shouldn't always be the same people, and if we have wonderful community members that have been representing us and volunteering, I just don't know why being appointed to a board, you know, after they've been doing it for years and then sitting on the other side of the table, I don't look at that as rejection. I look at them as mentoring.
If
New
they're doing
people
a
and
bad
providing
job, I
work.
can see it, but it's a
Right.
slap in the face if it didn't
Right,
good job.
exactly.
You're taking the point of someone that hasn't come to a meeting, that has no idea what's going on. You're taking their point of view versus the person who's been here and been volunteering for years.
I guess it's another
And
point.
spending a lot of time, and there's a lot of time between meetings too, because they get a lot of, you know, they get a lot of documents that they have to read prior to these meetings.
I guess of the folks who have also, new folks who have asked for interest in this, how many of them have participated in these meetings? Do we know? These planning commission meetings?
I've never seen Buckley at a meeting.
I know I've seen Bruce.
On
It's a
behalf
good question.
of Mr. Keenan,
Mhm.
he has a volunteer and has put hard work into his community. He has property that backs up to the park and 100% takes care of some of that property that the park is, right? You guys, make sure things don't happen that none of us want to happen around here. You know, but he volunteers all the time, even on boards that he doesn't need to come to the park and rec stuff. He didn't need to come to the tree lighting. Were you at the tree lighting? I'm just asking.
Oh, I was not.
You were not.
Mhm.
Did you volunteer to help set up with the tree lighting? Did you?
No?
No. Did you?
No.
No. Rob Keenan was there. Was your other applicants at the tree lighting? I would bet not.
Or
So,
community day.
or
Yeah.
community day. Were you at community day?
I think with me, it's a little different. I started knocking on your doors, and immediately I was pushed with rejection, accused of saying different things, when all I did was walk around with a binder from our township notes. Anybody could have asked me,
I'm
Mr.
asking about
Lehman,
volunteering.
this is your concerns.
I'm asking about volunteering. Were you at community day?
I'm gonna help you with your volunteering.